What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called VHS 94, starring Anna Hopkins, Kyle Legend, or Kyle, I'm not sure about that, and Donnie Alamsaya. First of all, welcome to my first official catch-up edition. All right, not that kind of catch-up. Not that kind of catch-up. You know what I'm talking about. Or should I explain? Let me explain. These are movies that I've been meaning to get to over the years. I just could never get around to. And now I have time, all right? They're gotta be at least a year old. And yeah, it's like the suggestion box review, all right? But I'm suggesting it to myself, okay? So it's more personal, actually. Another thing I want to get to, I want to go through the VHS franchise. Yes, and in my opinion, the best found footage franchise of horror in history. Okay? Yes, I put it up there like that. We can go to 2012, the first one, VHS. All right? The highlight on that one, these dumbasses bring this girl home, this weird girl home from the bar, who turned out to be some kind of demon chick. Just goes crazy on everybody in the house. All right, that scene was so epic. That story was so epic because I'd never seen anything like that, especially in a found footage movie. I enjoyed that. I like stuff like that. Okay. And it was so good, and I can see that somebody else enjoyed that so much too, as to where they put their own solo movie out about that character later on. And I'll have to watch that later on when I get a chance as well. Then we go to 2013, and we got VHS Part 2. All right. Now the highlight in this one is when this guy ended up having sex with this ghost girl. All right. Yeah, that scene was so. There's always a first story. It's always the first story. All right, most of the time. That was so crazy to me, and I've seen a lot of ghost. Oh, there's a ghost in the house movie type things, but never like that. Not quite like that. Okay. Then we have VHS Viral. Of course, this time around, they're getting a little more up to date, and they're playing around with the internet on this one, okay? And I can't remember like a specific storyline with this one, which might not be good for that movie, but I do remember the overall premise as to where two kids are running around trying to chase this news story, and why are these cops, or why is everything going haywire in this town, okay? And they're trying to chase it around. Everything's going viral, like the title says. All right. And the conclusion is crazy. I remember that. I remember that part. And now we have VHS 94. So my question is, will this be just as epic as the others? We're about to find out. Let's go. VHS 94. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, well, unless you're a VHS head like me, you probably don't have any clue about this movie at all. I've been doing this lately a lot of movies that nobody knows about. I've been reviewing them. Please, movie theaters, you gotta do better. You have to do better. Give me something soon. All right. I'm gonna let you slide again. VHS 94. It's pretty much about this task force that breaks into this facility, and everybody seems to be in some kind of trance with blood coming out. Their eyes missing, eyes gouged out, eyes missing. So something's going on, and there's this voice on the overhead that keeps repeating the same words over and over, kind of like a trance, like a cult type thing going on there. And so they got to figure out what the hell is running all this. What is making all this go down? And of course, they find the video footage, like 5 tapes. And of course, all 5 tapes are the stories to this anthology. And that's the premise of the movie. Positives. Just like the title says, VHS 94, this had the 90s vibe all the way through. Okay? I can feel it. I can feel that. The hair, the clothes, everything. The first scene in this one, which is about a supposed rat creature in the sewer that's been talked about, and the newscast has to go in there and see what's going on and check it out and give it a scoop, get the scoop. That whole scenario reminded me of this character called the Rat King. Back off in of course, Ninja Turtles, the old 90s cartoons. And so as soon as I heard that and I saw the whole premise of that, it reminded me of that episode, or the episodes with this character in it. And I was like, okay, either it's going to be like that, or it's going to be a whole lot, a way more insane, like just way more jacked up than that. All right, it's crazier, scarier, creepier than that. And I definitely got that with that. Okay, I definitely got what I was thinking. Another positive. This, unlike the other VHS movies, this jumped right into the gore, right into the horror of things. It didn't take its side, which is also a double-edged sword. So there's a bad side to this too. I'll talk about that later. But for now, I kind of enjoyed the fact that it did jump into things a little early, or kept me going and kept my interest the way it did, because sometimes the premise can drag a little bit. The anticipation can be a little too much anticipating. All right, at times, but there were certain stories this worked for. I'll say it like that. Maybe like 1 or 2 that actually worked for, using that kind of tactic with the VHS movie. Another positive, and my last, the best story out of this entire anthology, the cyborg story. All right, the reason it was the best for me, it felt so real. It felt so real to the point of you could feel where the characters were coming from. It wasn't just one of those cheesy plots for something of this nature. Okay, so usually when you think cyborgs and robot half man stuff like that, you want to think of on like a more of a Terminator level. No, this was not that. This was not that. This was more. This had more of a horror side to it, or a scarier side to it. Okay, and I enjoyed the whole. That's the best one in this movie. That's the best one. Okay, because you see this guy doing his experiments on these victims, these random people, and that when he got done with that, they were looking so jacked up. They were looking so messed up and disfigured, and their body parts were not where they're supposed to be, and so on and so on. And so you're seeing this from the robot's eyes at one point. So you don't know what she looks like. I'll say that. What she looks like yet until the reveal. All right? And I was waiting for that the whole time. My heart was pounding like, man, what is she gonna look like? Because everybody who looked at her was like, oh my God, poor girl. She's gone. She's gone. She's out of there. She's out of there. This is it. This is it for her. And I liked how it focused on her more often than other victims who were also disfigured. and turn into these robot creatures. All right, because she still had some of her humanity. I'm sorry, her humanity left in her, and that really made the movie. That really made the scene. That made the whole storyline there just even better. Okay, just to go through her eyes and see what's going on, and the thoughts, to feel her thoughts and how she still felt, even though her whole human half was supposed to be out of there. Okay, conscious wise. So that whoever wrote that scene, whoever wrote that storyline, superb job. I loved every minute of that. That's how that could be made into an entire movie. That's another one. That's a highlight. Okay. Negatives. This movie was so cheesy at times. All right. That's the whole bad thing about the 90s look. Okay. Because they tried with the 90s and the hairstyles and all that, and they got some of that right. The bad parts they were way bad. It looked like it was a parody, like a comedy parody of the 90s. Instead of trying to be serious or take this seriously. The volume, the high volume hair and the clothes, the clothes was like the shoulder pads as big as hell. Yo, come on, man. Come on. You could have tried a little harder with that. Some things just didn't need to be done. And those are one of those. All right. Another negative. This is the bad side of rushing into the gore. Okay? Like I said, it had a good side about rushing into things, but there's a bad part about it. Because on the older VHS movies, when they took their time and the storyline kind of crept up on, the reveal or the conclusion or what's really going on in that scene, you felt it more when you actually found out what's going on. When it actually hit you, it hit harder. But with this, you're already going into some of those and some of the crazy parts, the horror, and you just feel like, oh my God, oh my God, that was not as great of an impact as it could have been. Okay, that impact didn't hit me like I wanted it to. Not too scary. So it wasn't that scary. I'll be honest. It was a lot of those storylines were not scary. Not as scary as the past VHS movies. I'll put it like that. So I did kind of hate that. Another negative. There was a lot of unwanted humor in these storylines. All right? In the old VHS movies, they didn't really focus on jokes and trying to make you laugh here and there. They didn't really care about that. All right? If a joke slipped in, that was because the character that was what he was about. That certain character was the jokester or the prankster. And then it wasn't really that funny. Okay? And I'm not looking for that. I don't need something to make it corny. Make me scared. Make me frighten me, scare me. Okay? Don't make me laugh. It's not a comedy. And they try to do this too many times with this movie. They try to make you chuckle too many times around. And they just need to calm down on that. All right? Because it lessens the horror aspect of it when you do things like that. Never again, please. Never again. My last negative. Usually when I watch a VHS movie, I know if nothing else, the conclusion is going to be so epic because they'll have like certain things going on in between the stories that kind of walks you down the path of what's going to happen at the end. All right, how's this going to all end out? Which is like a lot of anthologies, but with this one, when it got down to it, it was so lackluster. Like they could have done a lot better than that. There was so much missing with that scene. When you get down to the last scene and you see the big reveal, what's going on? It's first of all, there's a certain thing they could have done for me that would have made it a little better. But after that, still, it would have been like, that's it. That was it. That was the conclusion. That was what was going on this whole time in that facility. Nah, man, miss me with that. And because of that, I gotta give this an I. Yes, an I. All right. When you compare this to other VHS movies, and I'm sorry, I hate to compare it, but you have to do it sometimes. All right. It doesn't get a high rank like that. Okay. It's in the middle. It's so in the middle. There's a lot of things that could have been done. It's not like there's just one thing that they could have added on. That's it. There's a couple of things they could have just taken out. No, less cheese next time, please. All right. I want you to subscribe, like, and you better share this video.